We're going to be AI first. There's no doubt about it. We're going to be the first collaboration layer. It's basically we're bringing an AI-powered creative team into your business. So whether you're a freelancer or you're an agency, you're going to have 6 people on your team, like $500,000 worth of team there. You're going to have Index for your SEO. You're going to have Claro for clarity. You're going to have Glitch for little code errors and all that kind of stuff. And if you're a creative and you don't have the skill set of SEO, you've got Index. If you're an SEO and you don't have the creative side of Pixel, you've got Pixel. So, you've got all these little helpful people within Atarim to give you as a developer feedback on what you're doing. You can converse with them, have a little chat.
Hey everyone, it's Roger with Kinsta. I'm joined today by a new friend, Andrew. Hey Andrew, how are you?
Thanks, Roger. Nice to see you. Good for you to have me on.
Absolutely. It's great to have you here. We spent some time in Basel, hanging out, getting to know each other. I'm excited to hear some exciting news about Atarim. But before we get into that, I want to learn more about you and your background story. How did you become the great Andrew Palmer? Like, what's the story here? How'd you get into the web?
I'm not sure I'm the great Andrew Palmer, but I got into the web. I had a printing business. So I had a creative business. I was production director of a creative agency. I often set up my own creative agency. And then got into printing big time, big sheet-fed printers, a couple hundred employees occasionally. I ended up in a printing company with 3 other guys, 90 employees, all that kind of stuff. Did millions of pounds worth of revenue, which was great. They were my age then, and I'm sort of not too young these days. And I said, look, here's the internet in 1998. Oh no, you can get on with that. So I set up my own little business, had a CD printing business, and I needed a website, so I built it myself. Okay. And I went to Langley College, which is basically near Slough in Berkshire in the UK. And I did a night school class on Flash and HTML, just literally Notepad, just writing HTML. And built our own website, a little CD printing website. And I thought, well, and I was number 1 under whatever it was, Yahoo or whatever, the Ask Jeeves or whatever the search engine was. And I thought, this is easy. I can do this for a living. So I started building websites for other people, charging ridiculous amounts of money because it was taking 3 months to do a website because of communication with clients, and also the technology wasn't there. Got into Dreamweaver, got into Joomla, got into Drupal, all the CMSs, because we all need an easy way to do it. And then just had a company called La Fenice, which is the Phoenix in Italian, from Venice. It was named after the opera house in Venice. All those kind of things. And then just built up my agency for web and ended up selling that actually in December of last year. But in the meantime of that, I had Elegant Marketplace, which sold Divi products. That was set up by 6 of us. 4 people dropped off really quickly because they realised it was really hard work. 16-hour days and Facebook groups and all this kind of stuff. And the politics of running Facebook groups is horrible. Sold that to InMotion Hosting in 2019, in December 2019. So the timing was great, COVID and all that. Took some time off because there was a bit of cash in the banks, and that was lovely.
Yeah. And
carried on and developed various products, layoutscloud.com, pagebuildercloud.com, and sold those. Basically, I build products and sell them.
Okay.
A total of about, I think I had 47 plugins in the end.
Wow.
But yeah, so Elegant Marketplace, 100,000 customers. Nice. It was a good little business. In the end, run by 2 people.
Okay.
You don't have to have a massive crew around you to have a successful business, as long as you can delegate properly. We used other creative people. If we needed something really technical done, we'd say, right, here you go, you can go in there, I need a bit of JavaScript to fix this, or I need a new image, or let's do this. And that was the basis of Layouts Cloud. Went out to a few developers or designers and said, build me layouts. I want layouts for Divi. Then we went, okay, these should be available to the cloud. So that became Page Builder Cloud. So all of the page builders, Beaver Builder, Divi, Elementor, of course. Where would we all be without Elementor? 15 million
It's crazy.
Websites, crazy, So
yeah,
and all those all stored in the cloud, and then sold that to a lovely woman called Melissa Love in the design space and stuff like that. And they're still going, and hopefully making money. That doesn't need a lot of support because it was very stable, built by a lovely chap called Sean Barton.
Okay.
So made him quite successful as well. So that was lovely, and that's part of my role really in life is to make money for other people as well. Because I just get money and I spend it. I live my life now.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's my origin story really.
Okay.
Yeah, just, WordPressers. So I suppose I built my first WordPress website in about 2004, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, around about that. So not quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I
Just a little
hated
bit.
it, because it was tough. It was hard to use then.
Okay, even compared to like Drupal or Joomla?
I found Joomla unbelievably easy. You didn't have to set an index page for a start. When I first opened WordPress, I drove a very good friend of mine mad, Mark Copeman, who's particularly successful in the MSP business at the moment, or for the last few years. And I was on the phone to him all the day, literally screaming at him, "Why have you told me to use WordPress? I can't even figure this out. How do I set the index page? It's different on it. There's 4 places to set the index or the home page. It drove me crazy because Joomla was so easy.
Okay.
Getting around the plugins and hosting issues. Back in the day, hosting for websites, we didn't have a lot to choose from, did we? Really?
Sure. Well,
You got
and
what you got.
And it was kind of Wild West, right? Everything was all over the map.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot of standardization. Picking a thread just a little bit here. So the printing business, from going printing to the web, to me, it was an obvious, like the web just made total sense. As you were approaching businesses back in the late 90s, early 2000s about getting a website, how was that sales pitch? How were you having to sell the entire idea of the internet, or were people starting to get it?
People were starting to get it, and the thing about us, we built a website called cd-express.co.uk. That was our website, and we were number one under CDs. So we were at the forefront of technology. We were web and CDs, and that selling print, because we were still selling print, and we were printing our own CDs and also manufacturing them in Poland and all over Europe, really, in Swindon in the UK. And printing millions of them, 6 or 7 million a year CDs we were printing. So it's pretty good business. So I could show people the success of CDs, and I could show people the success of websites, and I could show people the success of media, printed media, marketing collateral, we called it. And if you merge those all together, made sure you had let's not forget, back in those days, people were using CompuServe email addresses with numbers, and AOL, and with numbers, and you were thinking, and now when they sorted out proper IP addresses and forwarding, and there was no SSL in those days either. It was just, like you say, it was Wild West.
Yeah.
I think that we built our first e-commerce website using Perl. Yeah, PERL.
CGI bin.
And CGI bin, Perl and CGI bin, and just PHP. And when PHP came along, personal homepage came along, come on, we could almost be responsive. You could make one line of code, just say, okay, just make it do that on smaller devices.
Yeah.
But back in the day, we had to, even people were saying, well, it doesn't work on my BlackBerry. I was going, that's because it's a BlackBerry, all this kind of stuff. So it was hard, but it was quite an easy sell. If you sold them print, you could sell them web. And without the web, we were printing for a massive cable company in the UK, the second largest cable company. It's now called Virgin Media. We were doing all of their marketing collateral. They bought the franchise, or they bought the service to build all the websites for the Premiership football clubs.
Okay.
Because they had the servers to be able to serve and stream the video and the playbacks.
Okay.
So there you go. So it was good. So I got involved in that as well, helping on that, advising on that side. So got involved in the sports side of the TV. So the individual players in the teams wanted their own personal website to protect their own personal brand. Minor celebrities or major celebrities, I managed to sell websites to those as well. So yeah, it was an easy transition. Have a business card and a website. I'll tell you what, I'll make your website into your business card. Why not?
Excellent. Well, so I see a lot of parallels happening from the dot-com boom kind of era, and then today where we've got the AI boom, the AI hype cycle, and now you're with Atarim, and there's some exciting news coming about, and I'm wondering if we want to just jump straight in, or do you want to talk a little bit how you got involved with Atarim before we really start unpacking?
Was WP feedback as a plugin, a WordPress plugin. Collaborative layer of the web. That's what we used to like to call it. We've slightly changed the messaging now because of what's going to be happening very soon. We're very excited about it. But I met Vito Peleg, the CEO, a do basically, or an event run by Matthew Lee Jackson up in Peterborough in the UK, or I think it was in Peterborough, somewhere north anyway.
Yeah.
And he showed me this thing on an iPad, and it was an image. And I went, yeah, I'm not letting you go, pal. There's no way. So I eventually, just became friends naturally, because we're both naturally, kind of. He's from Israel, Tel Aviv, but he's lived in this country for a while. He was in a rock band. He was quite successful as that. He's just a great character. He's got a fire in his belly. I like people that have a purpose. So he was just excited about this. He had a very successful agency at the time as well, and I got on very well with Jerome, who's his co-founder at Atarim as well. And I literally had to beat him into submission and say, okay, you've got 1,000 people on your email list. I've got 63,000. You either want to go corner shop or you want to go supermarket. It sounds very arrogant, and it was, frankly. And he said, okay, eventually, but I want to run the marketing campaign because, what people like to be in control, especially when it's their beloved product. So yeah, he sent me all the layouts of the emails, told me all the process. There was a document, we still have it as a souvenir actually, where I had to sign this agreement of that I would do exactly as I was told. And that resulted in mid six figures in 31 days.
Okay. Which
was pretty cool. And then we did it again in another mid six figures. And that kind of helped with the runway. And that then eventually became Atarim. And then about 3 years ago, because I'd sold some businesses and had some cash and everything, and they just needed a quick injection, so I invested an amount of money, doesn't matter how much, and became a shareholder in the business and an investor. And I was kind of slowing down. I'm at retirement age in the UK now, and I'm kind of just slowing down, or I was.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Because I've been doing this for a while, and basically that gave them more runway until the first seed round of stuff and investment. And we've got a great selection of investors in the business. I divested everything last December, decided to retire, move away, do this, go, open a restaurant and sell that and whatever.
Yeah.
I sold the restaurant in 6 weeks rather than 6 months, which is a bit annoying. It's great, but it's kind of annoying. And then I was literally on a beach in Spain, and got a call, and Vito said, we can't have you retiring. That's no good. Come and join the team. So I've joined the team. It's hard work. It's not shooing. It's get on with it. What you're doing. So I'm enjoying it because I know the product inside out. I used it as an agency. It changed the way we dealt with people at the agency. It sped up our process unbelievably. I'm still a testimonial on the website, which is a bit weird, but and so I came on as customer success to educate the agencies or teach them how to use it properly, or in my view properly, and in our view. And then had a couple of sales from that, upsells, and converted people from churning, which is churn is the dirtiest word in our business, isn't it? And we hate churn, so managed to convert a couple of people, not massive amount, but.
Yeah.
And Vito said, you're in the wrong department. I need you to go into this one. I need you to do sales properly. So I now sell the do-it-for-me product and service that we do for hosts. So we offer hosts a pro services team to build. And we've got hosting.com. We've got GoDaddy use our software solution for their different products and everything. So I'm enjoying that. And also the video training as well, because I've got experience with Bertha. But after that, so after everything, Vito came to me and said, in May 2021, I haven't got the team and I haven't got the money because I'm putting everything into Atarim.
Yeah.
But Bertha AI. So we built Bertha AI with him doing the prompts and everything because he's well into AI. And me learning them and my developers learning, because I had a team of developers, and we built Bertha AI. Launched it in September 2021. And it's still alive and still doing well. GPT kind of kicks us in the shins, or OpenAI kicks us in the shins by giving away everything for free. But even today, we got four paid sign-ups, which is great. We're getting a couple of days, which is fine. So with that, I can segue into where we're going with Atarim.
Sure.
So we're going to be AI first. There's no doubt about it. We're going to be the first collaboration layer. It's not really, there is a description here, and I've just got to remind myself what it is because we've all thought it is. But it's basically we're bringing an AI-powered creative team into your business. So whether you're a freelancer or you're an agency, you're going to have 6 people on your team, like $500,000 worth of team there. You're going to have Index for your SEO. You're going to have Claro for clarity, you can have Glitch for little code errors and all that kind of stuff. And if you're a creative and you don't have the skill set of SEO, you've got index. If you're an SEO and you don't have the creative side of pixel, you got pixel. So, you've got all these little helpful people within Atarim to give you as a developer feedback on what you're doing. You can converse with them, have a little chat, and AI. Is it hype? I don't think it is. What I like about AI and the way we're using it, because of our experience with Bertha, we know how to prompt properly. With these 6 creative people that are going to help you, they go out, we scan the page, give you advice, come up with these little things that say, right, this is great, this is whatever. 20% of the feedback is positive because everybody likes to be a little bit positive.
Sure.
But we've got, who is it that does, I can't remember which one does the accessibility. Navi does the accessibility side. So it's all very new to us. So you haven't got alt text on your logo, just as basic as that, or your navigation isn't there, or you can't tab this or whatever. Navi will tell you that. All 6 together, as soon as you hit review, they hit there's 2,500 things that they're looking at.
Wow.
With AI. So it's exciting for us because we're successful on the collaboration side and closing that feedback loop.
Yeah.
With the like sticky notes and things like that. It's much, much more than that though. But with these creative people coming in, the AI people, we're calling the inner circle, if you like. It's like having a girlfriend or a partner or a wife, isn't it? You've got instant backup.
Sure.
Well, now we've got six inner circles that are going to give you instant backup and tell you where you're going wrong, but also, importantly, tell you where you're going right. And that's why we're excited about it.
Yeah, no,
that's it.
I've seen a couple of demos, and it blows my mind every time I see this stuff happening. And I think, when I'm referring to the hype of AI, there's a lot of this AGI is around the corner, right? And we're all losing our jobs in 6 months. And I think that's where there's a lot of hype going on. What I'm excited about was, especially with products like what you're doing with Atarim, is you're really applying a use case that is helpful and immediately applicable for businesses. And so I think the parallel to the .com boom and today is very apt, right? Because there's a lot of unknowns with AI. Just like in 2000, it was like, is everything needed .com? And the answer is yes and no, right? And I think with the product that Atarim's coming out with all these AI assistants and this agentic AI, like this to me is the first time I've seen agentic AI in place where I'm like, okay, this is actually useful. I'm really excited to see it come out. And, one of the things I was talking with Vito yesterday about is one problem with AI right now is this sycophantic nature, right? Where it's just yes, man, and it's all very positive, and that's not always helpful. And he was explaining how you guys have specifically built into this tool some conflict or, pushback.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that's amazing, right? Because I don't necessarily need a yes man. What I need is a get it done man. And I need people to think of ideas that are kind of outside of what I'm thinking about. So as an agency owner, as a former agency owner, how fundamental do you see this tool changing how that business works?
Well, let's just take a little step back about how I feel about the current version of Atarim. Yes, I work for Atarim now. But I've actually advocated for Atarim for the last 6 years. And it's about time I got paid for it, right? So, I'm on the payroll now. The key is that I've always been, from day one, from when it was a JPEG thought this is an incredible innovation in communication. I know for a fact that I had a website stuck for a year and I sent a collaboration link to a client and 3 days later the website was finished. I know for a fact it works, right?
Yeah.
And that's not just one example. I'll give you one more example. I had a person who's a very high level director of a company, massive company, decided to go out on their own, forgot that they didn't have secretaries or assistants. I mean, I was getting requests, can you do this PowerPoint presentation for me? Well, no, I'm not your secretary. That you can have to find someone else for that. And because of the decision-making paralysis on their part, the first website we built for them took 4 months. And then we went for a second iteration about two years later. I said, the only way we will work, plus hours of Zoom calls, literally hours that you can't charge because you're not up, you don't say I've got to charge 2 hours for a Zoom call. Honestly, the second iteration of the website, which reduced it from 101 pages because she'd got another guy involved as well, 101 links on the navigation down to 6 took 3 weeks. Crazy. Same amount of content, but navigated in a different way.
Yeah.
Accessibility ready, speedy, all of that kind of stuff. So I know that Atarim works. Now we have these teammates that are coming along with a click 90 seconds later. You can go off and you can just brew your tea or brew your coffee, come back, and you've got the stars coming out and you click on them. As I say, there's the positive ones. But just like real people that, like you say, they push back and go, actually, that's not right. You need to do this. And you can then choose to put them onto your taskbar as a task, as a developer, and you'll get that done. Or as a PM, you can say, okay, I'm going to add that and my developers can get on with that. And you can also converse with them. That's the beauty of it. And think of the future, Roger, with MCP. What we're going to do with what we're going to be able to do with that. We say, right, okay, can you fix that? Yeah, on any platform. We're not necessarily WordPress. Can you imagine if we can get into the CLI, if it's a WordPress site, because we're changing the way the plugin operates, and we're adding a script as well, because we're web agnostic, if you like. We have a Figma integration, we have Shopify integration. WordPress obviously is our favorite because we come from the WordPress community, but we want to help web developers and people that need to speed up that process, get their productivity right. So this is where it gets me, is that people are experiencing literally a 51% increase in productivity. 51%. So if you're doing 5 websites a month, that means that you can do 7 websites a month with no headcount increase or no stress and no burnout or anything like that, because you're just getting things done so quickly. What does that do? It tells you that if your productivity goes up, your profit goes up. You just have an opportunity to do that. When you do that, we have a company using our tool that are doing 1,000 websites a month, or were doing 1,000 websites a month. They're now doing 2,000 websites a month.
Wow. With
no headcount increase and no extra stress, because it's just sped up that process. We've got 67,000 people using Atarim on 1.7 million websites currently.
Wow.
So they kind of know the solutions there. That's going to skyrocket with the new packages that we're developing, and we're going, you can sign up to an early access as well, but it's effectively, if I haven't got a skill set, I know that my teammates, my AI teammates as it were, have got that skill set. Because we've all grown up. Vito had a very successful web development agency. I had a fairly successful web development agency, which I sold. If it wasn't successful, I wouldn't have been able to sell it, right?
Sure.
We know what we do. I've built thousands of websites in my agency. He built about 600, 800 websites for charities. You know how difficult charities are, because they're run by, this is where this idea came from. Just think, how can I get all of these stakeholders on the same page?
Sure.
And talking about that as well, one of the things that is coming out very, very soon is, while you're collaborating on the page, which that word's disappearing from our conversation, but while you're working on the page and you're leaving comments, I'll be on there, Andy. You can see my mouse walking around and commenting, and you'll be on there. So it's absolutely real-time collaboration. Crazy.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And that's what AI brings us.
Well, and I think there's also the fact that AI doesn't sleep. AI doesn't get hungry. And so it's always working. It's immediately giving you feedback. So again, your productivity is just going to go up. And this is really exciting. So I think you just hit on an important part, your call to action there. You said that there's a testing round going on. How do people get involved with that?
So they go to atarim.io/early-access. Simple as that.
Okay.
So atarim.io/early-access. And then you'll get into a funnel. You'll be instructed on what's going on, and people are going to actually help us build it from their perspective as well. Atarim has always been built from, we had a client only 3 months ago saying, I need this. I put it into the product and said, my client needs this. They go, okay, boom, done. 48 hours later.
Wow, that's
amazing.
Fantastic.
So we've got a very proactive product team, amazing developers. Honestly, they are amazing. And part of the attraction of me coming and working for Atarim, Atarim. But I knew the team. I knew Jerome very well. Obviously, know Vito very well. We've been pals and did the Thailand developer trip with them in Asia a few years ago. This is the original T-shirt and all that kind of stuff. And I actually they allowed me to talk about productivity and support, because I was very high on support. So I was I was honoured to talk to the support team at the time in Thailand and give them an hour of my time and just say, and they do it. And one of the guys is still with us, Pratap. He's a lovely guy. Our support is second to none. We all say that, but it's true. Our support gets unbelievably high 5-star reports. And it's not support because there's a technical issue. Atarim, because of what it is, has become slightly more complex. It always will. When you add a feature, you kind of try and tell everybody about that. Do you do a modal? Do you do something? We have a Chrome extension. So that's a complexity that's added to it, but it's also beautiful. When you load a website and hit Chrome extension, it's immediately accessible as to work on with your developers. We have a script that is being developed that's going into the WordPress. You can put it into any website. The WordPress plugin is changing. Everything is becoming unified. It's awesome. It's exciting for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
And as you know, I get to travel, which is cool.
No, this is fantastic. I'm really excited to see this product materialize because it really does look amazing. It works really, really well. Andrew, I could go on for hours. This is a fantastic conversation. I really appreciate your time. If people want to reach out to you, if they want to talk to you, what is the best way for them to do that?
For me, if they want to talk to me about Atarim, then go to LinkedIn. It's LinkedIn and search Andrew Palmer Atarim. You'll find me.
I'll have some links.
If it's Twitter, it's at Arnie Palmer, or X at Arnie Palmer, because my name is A Palmer, and that was my nickname at my golf club. Yeah. And obviously, you can find me via Atarim. If you go specifically for hosts, if you want to talk about the different opportunity or partnerships, just go to the link that takes you to the hosting page, and my booking link's on there. And I'm very accessible. I don't, as you know, I don't hide away much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Andrew, it is fantastic talking to you. I will see you at WordCamp US next month.
You will. I'm arriving on the Monday. Okay. So depending on who's there, I'm a West Coast virgin, so I don't know, apart from Las Vegas, I think, I've never been to Portland. So, it's...
Portland's one of my favorite cities.
Cool. So, yeah, and I want to go to Contributor Day because I love talking to developers and what their thoughts are on everything. And then, so I'll be Contributor Day, which I'm booked in for, and then the rest of WordCamp, and then actually having a day off and then flying back a day later, which is nice. So I'll have a day in, I think, the mountains or something. We can go off into the mountains and just explore a little bit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent.
I'll see you in Portland, which is
excellent.
Great. And thanks for this. This is great. It's nice to see you and talk to you as well.
Yeah, great to talk to you too. I'll talk to you again soon.